the Honorable Finance Minister will take the consent of the House. Before that, sir, this is, the mic is working.
Mic is on.
The last quarter, if we go by, that last quarter, the figures, the data released by the National Statistics Office, which stood at 5.4%, much lower than the expectations projected by the Reserve Bank of India, which stood at 7%, more than 7%. So during this period, not only that it has come down on an average, but manufacturing sector has taken a heavy beating. That growth stood at around only 2.2%. Along with that, even construction sector and mining sector also showed the growth on a lower side. And compared to, it was 7% in the last quarter, first quarter. So this has the growth rate, low growth rate expected. It is going to create complications in the remaining half of the financial year. This is going to impact the economic growth, economic performance in the second half. The fiscal management will be also issue, and it will be a challenge for the government to contain it at a lower level. And if the target of 4.9% is to be achieved, it will have to cut down majorly on its government expenditure. And when the government expenditure comes down, or it is reduced, it is already, the result is that growth in unemployment, as it is, we have seen the effects of slower activity, which is already there in the society, in the country. The question is how we will mop up for the rest, or how will we be able to contain. The only answer what we see that private investment need to come into play. Whether the conditions prevailing in the country will induce the private investment come and really boost the economy. It's it's a big question in front of the not only government but for the people of India, as the society, after all, society is suffering. So today India's youth is restless as unemployment is growing by the day. He is in the search of the job. The government, central government, tries its best by declaring schemes like startup, giving some concessions, declaring that skill will be taken into account, and skill centers are being opened by the day. But this remains on the paper. The reality on the field is something different. So these startup programs, more or less, I mean, we've been seeing that very few, they emerge successful, and majority of them, they flop. They are not able to come, or they are not able to do the things they had purpose in mind. So the everlasting inflation, the ever-growing inflation rather, is not going to come down, and this has broken through the budget of the families, middle class and the poor. And by the day, like essentials or vegetable prices, though it comes in the paper for a day or a fortnight that the consumer price index has come down, and some kind of joyous situation prevails only in the treasury benches, but in reality the society is still suffering, and their woes are to be heard by the government and put into practice. I think this appropriation will take care of all this. So agriculture sector, basically agriculture sector is the only sector where we could see the growth in the last quarter. It has to maintain this and to give some motivation to the farmers. The reality is the government should think of giving MSP the way they are thinking, the way it is being calculated by the farmers. It is not that doubling the income of the farmers in so-and-so period, which could never take place, but it should not be an everlasting phase. It should really mean that farmers, they get MSP. Like in Maharashtra, soybean or cotton or maize, cultivating farmers are suffering because MSP, whatever is being declared, that is not coming up to their expectations. I think that needs to be taken into consideration. And finally, sir, I would put it this way, that expenditure, now there is a provision made in the Department of Public Enterprises for meeting additional expenditure towards salaries and allowances. My humble request would be with the Honorable Finance Minister that the Insurance Act, which is in the offing, that it is going for the amendment. And this Insurance Act will provide for 100% FDI, and composite license is being thought. It is contemplated that composite license will be issued to the private players, and all the government companies, all the public sector units in general insurance and life insurance sectors will be kept aside. This will deprive them of their making the business who had the monopoly in the sector, and they did well. And over the years, all these companies, may it be generally Re or LIC or New India Assurance, they have been paying handsome dividends to the coffers of the central government. But the irony of the fact is that these very companies will be deprived in the bill which is being contemplated to be brought in. I think Finance Minister, Honorable Sitharaman ji, Honorable Finance Minister, I am addressing a very important. You are aware of it. You are aware of the issue what I am making a mention about. That these general insurance companies, banks have got their upward wage revision. LIC has followed it. Only general insurance companies like New India Assurance, United India, National Insurance, General Re, they are awaiting their turn to get upward pay revision. I think enough of provision is being made, and Nirmala Sitharaman ji has shown that even that keen interest to see these people also get their due. I'll be extremely happy. And last request for GST rationalization in the rates of Mediclaim. The entire country is awaiting your decision. I think in the month of December, this GST Council was to take decision. It is yet to come. If it comes, that will give a good relief to the people of India. Thank you very much.
हे आहे देशातील नंबर 1 न्यूज नेटवर्क आणि आपण पाहत आहात TV9 मराठी. काळजी तुमची, हित महाराष्ट्राचं.